Comfortable, quality. I love you. Marry me. That's the problem that you're solving. You're not solving a money problem. That's the problem that you're solving. Aston Martin. How does Aston Martin market their product? James Bond. The name's Bond. James Bond. Right. And you're probably willing to pay a premium for the unique item.
Money is not my problem.
Money is not the consideration, which now immediately means you are offering a price discount for a customer that doesn't want it. Not only are you offering them what they don't want, you're leaving money on the table. Comfortable, quality. I love you. Marry me. Yeah. I'm telling you, let's do it after this. After this, let's do it. You wanted to say something?
Oh,
You'll take her personally.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So much.
Right.
Thank you.
So when you're leaving here, you've got 3 pieces of homework. The first piece of homework is you need to rework your elevator pitch.
Okay.
Okay? First, start with the problem that you're solving. The problem that you're solving is there is a consumer base in Kenya of affluent consumers, what we call middle affluent consumers, right? Who want bespoke pieces of furniture that are timeless, good quality, and they're willing to pay for them. That's the problem that you're solving. You're not solving a money problem. That's the problem that you're solving. And around this proposition, you have a community of who these consumers are. So let me tell you a bit about these consumers. As it appears to me, just reading the sample in this room, none of them are male. So they're all female. As it appears to me, based on the sample in this room, they're between the ages of 25, maybe 27, and 45. They're clearly very driven. That's why they're here. They either own their own businesses or they're middle management to executive level in corporate. Yeah? Their home is their pride and joy. So what they're looking for is a way for their home to be unique without being loud. And so for this, enters Glam Interior. So when you go see the company she's going to connect you with, you're not going to say quality, you're not going to say lifetime, you're not going to say affordable. What you're going to say is timeless, comfortable, bespoke, affluent. That's the conversation.
Wow.
Thank you, Anne. You can sit.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help to Anne, by the way. I'm cognizant of time. I think let's take 2 more.
I want to make a comment.
Yes.
I want to ask a question. Why do you want to go to Naivas? That's question number 1. Yeah. Why not? Because a good number of us do not know about this product. So why Naivas? You've had a bad experience to me, that is retail. I'm just asking. And number 2, is there, is Nakumat the ultimate solution to your problem?
Okay. Sorry?
Speak up,
the reason why I would want to go to...
Hi, everyone.
She's not.
I'm Damaris. I'm the Managing Director of Green Haven Properties and the Mimshak Homes. I'd like to advise her on how, in 2020, during the Corona year, in Feb, I opened an office, and then in March, the government closed the country. But this is what I'll say. It's in 2020 that I made the most sales. Reason being, I went to influencers. And that's the advice I want to give her. In this country, influencers have a voice. And for you to get your products known, supermarket is good, but go to influencers. I'm sure right now everyone knows about Green Haven Properties in Diani. And I can tell you, we sold a lot of properties to diaspora people because we gave them our trust. They trusted us. So use the influencers. Akinawa Jesus, Isaiah, those people, they are a voice in this country.
Very good. That's great advice. Thank you for that. That's really, really good advice. And by the way, the best way to pay an influencer is no. One of the ways to pay influencers is by offering them free product. The other, far more effective way to pay an influencer is by offering them partnership. So here's what you do. You have a range of 12 products. You go to 5 influencers, and you say to them each, let's co-design a piece. A signature piece for you, one that you think represents you. And you co-design that piece. And then you say, we're going to make a limited production run of 25 of these pieces. Bespoke, rare, right? And to the influencer, all the sales that you make, they get 30%. And all they have to do is to showcase the product. So you get marketing, new customers, share of wallet, share of voice, and you get a person who's going to be promoting for you. And really all you have to pay them is 30% of new sales, not money from your actual business. You have to get creative. But the influencer idea is a brilliant, brilliant idea. It's a very effective way of getting customers to buy. Okay. So all of us here will help you by sending an email to the retailers you want to talk to. You're going to get some influencers. And the next time I see you, you'd better be doing $100,000 a month. And remember this, the place that you do business in should be the place that you do business from. That's the comment she made about the diaspora. Your market's massive. It's not just the people down the road. So stop thinking about the retailer that's got that market. Think about how can I reach people in other parts of the world to buy my product as well. Okay, yeah? How long have you been in business? Since 2014? All right. You're going to have to come out of your shell a little bit. If you want to build a brand, you're going to have to come out of your shell and own that brand, okay? Let's do one last question. One last question.
Okay, let's be cognizant of our online audience. Remember, this is a hybrid event. So there are a couple of questions that are coming from our online audience. There's a lady called Anastasia Njuguna who has 2 questions for you. So here she goes. The first question is, how do you, Vusi, organize yourself to handle all this work on your plate? Do you read too much? Do you prepare for the presentations and run the businesses? That's the first question. And the second one?
The answer is yes.
Anastasia, I hope you're listening. Answer is yes. Second question, what would Vusi tell someone who is unable to delegate client handling to a team running a consulting firm such that inhibits more client intake towards scaling? What's this about not being able to delegate for an aspiring entrepreneur who is self-employed?
Okay, so let's pause there, Patrick. So the question is, what would I say to somebody who doesn't want to delegate responsibilities of handling clients? And that becomes a bottleneck in the business.
Yep.
Yeah, I have no advice for this. If you don't want to delegate, don't delegate. But you'll work 25 hours a day, your business won't grow, you won't scale. This doesn't need an intervention. I mean, if that's how you want to run your business, that's how you run your business. Hello, family. The VT Masterclass has now reached over 5 million unique entrepreneurs all across the world. If you'd like to book me for one, make sure that you hit the link below. Cheers.
Great. And then the third online question is, why did you move to Dubai?
Can't answer.
You have businesses across the world. How do you leverage taxation? This is a big headache to most SMEs in Africa.
Yeah, I can't speak about tax, and I'm not going to talk about why I moved. I don't need those kind of problems. They are definitely watching this. I love them. Tax people, you are great. Keep going.
Then this is, someone has a comment for the lady who does furniture. Yeah, so Margaret Mwanzia is saying, Naivas is a budget supermarket and not probably the right place for timeless pieces. She may need to reconsider where she wants to sell the furniture. Naivas is the wrong place for timeless pieces. And for your information, by the way, you have a competitor. Have you ever heard about Panessa Furniture, right on Mombasa Road? They do bespoke furniture, and they don't advertise. They don't go for expos. And for your information, their furniture is found in every state house in Africa.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Panessa on Mombasa Road is owned by an Indian family. They've been in the business for 3 decades. So, yeah, and it takes time.
Yes. I just want to agree with you, Patrick, and really just say, if you want to sell a Rolls Royce, you got to place it where you're likely to get buyers. If you take your Rolls Royce to a budget area, you dust it forever, and you're not likely to sell it. So really, the idea is, if you believe that you have that product, then go bespoke service to the right market area. If you don't, then you're...
And I really hope you understand the value you're getting here. It would have taken you 3 months of bringing a consultant on board and at least $20,000 for them to tell you exactly what you're hearing here. So, by the way, this is the power of these masterclasses. 99% of the time, it's nothing more than facilitating a conversation of the entrepreneurs in the room helping the entrepreneurs in the room. And you made the comment, Chair, about the Rolls Royce, right? Do you guys know where Rolls Royce sells their cars? Obviously, not they have dealerships, but where do they? I mean, have you ever turned on a TV ad and seen a Rolls Royce ad, or flipped a newspaper and seen a Rolls Royce ad? So where do they sell their cars? How do they do promotion? Anyone know? Yes, sir. Say again? Yeah, from wealthy people, but where? The question is where, not whom, where? Yes, ma'am. Not even that. You won't find them at the Polo. They're not at the Polo. If you watch the Grammys, they're not advertising a Rolls Royce as you're walking down the red carpet. Because a Rolls Royce owner isn't at the Polo. The guy who really, let me say it differently. The guy who's driving a 2002 Rolls Royce might be at the Polo. But the person who's on Rolls Royce's list to mail when they're releasing a new swept tail, for those of us in the room who don't know about cars, when they're releasing a new swept tail, which is not just a Rolls Royce, it's not even a black badge, it's a really, really limited edition. The guy who's on that mailing list, he's not at the Polo. He's not at the Polo, he's not at the clubhouse, he's not on the 4-ball at the golf day. So where is he? Yes? Exactly right. Air shows. So Boeing is showing their latest plane, Gulfstream is showing the latest private jet, right next door Rolls Royce. That's where you find them. Now, why do you not know that? How many of you here have been invited to the launch of a new private jet? I rest my case. Does that make sense? I rest my case. That tells you everything you need to know, everything you need to know, everything you need to know, everything you need to know. So some of the things you buy because of what they buy you access to. Yeah, I won't say more on this, but I've said enough. So that's where Rolls-Royce will exhibit their products. I'm a petrol head. Lamborghini. How does Lamborghini reach their consumer? First, let's think about the story of Lamborghini. Do you guys know the story of Lamborghini? Lamborghini, the owner, the old man, used to make tractors in Italy. He was the number one customer to a supercar manufacturer whose name was Enzo Ferrari. He was Ferrari's number one customer by volume. And he had, I can't remember which Ferrari it was, it kept breaking down. And he went to Enzo and he said, why does this car keep breaking down? And Enzo said to him, because you don't know how to drive supercars. He said, oh, really? I'll show you how to make a supercar that doesn't break down. And he started Lamborghini. So the question I ask, where does Lamborghini reach their market? Say again? Formula One? No, Ferrari does this. Ferrari is on Formula One, McLaren is on Formula One. Not Lambo. Any takers? Movies. When was the last time you watched a movie with a Lamborghini in it? No producer spending that kind of money to crash a car. Forget it. It's not happening. Anyone? Aston Martin. How does Aston Martin market their product? James Bond. The name's Bond. James Bond. Now, the character James Bond works for the Aston Martin car because of the way an Aston Martin drives. You'd have to drive one to get it, but the character of an Aston Martin is very different to the character of a Lamborghini. You can take an Aventador, which is a V12, and take a DBS Superleggera, both V12s. They don't drive the same. The one would be like dating Kim Kardashian. The other would be, let's get this right, like dating the Queen. They're different, very different. So how does Aston Martin reach their users? James Bond. It's the guy who wears a suit. It's the undercover agent. Gets all the girls. It's a lot like this. Single colors, always solid colors and dress. Not loud, not ostentatious. This is why you've never watched a hip-hop video with an Aston Martin. There is? Yeah, that guy didn't have money for the Ferrari. He didn't have. If he had money for the Ferrari, he wouldn't have put the Aston Martin on it. Because it has a different appeal. The Aston Martin owner, I think the last time I checked the stats, it said something like the average Aston Martin owner is about 48 years old. Like way above this. Right? So when you show, but the point is, it communicates something differently. This is important, and for you, because your brand is an extension of the customer's need to say something. So you got to figure out what do your customers need to say, and how do you use your brand to give them the ability to say this, right? So where do you find a Rolls-Royce? When they're launching different airplanes at air shows. That's where you'll find a Rolls-Royce. Lamborghini doesn't do events. That's why you couldn't answer that question. They don't. Lamborghini has Lamborghini events. And for you to get invited to the event, you know you get invited to the event, a Lamborghini owner has to recommend you. So what do they know? That a Lamborghini owner probably knows somebody who can afford a Lamborghini. So they're not running ads on Twitter, they're not promoting stuff, they're not doing this. But when they launch the new Countach, which is the montage, the homage really of the old one in the 1980s, in my mind the greatest Lamborghini ever made, the Diablo, second to this, the Countach. But every time they launch, the only way in is if somebody invites you in. They don't care how much money. You could be on the cover of Forbes. If you don't have an invitation from someone in the circle, you're not coming in. Creating a sense of exclusivity for your brand, especially if you want it to be something aspirational, it's very, very powerful. Denying people the ability to get in. Have them waiting in a long queue. That's why I said when you do the promotion with the influencers, do a limited run on purpose. on purpose. There are only 5 of this available, and they will never be repeated again. And that's how you build, right? Very important, this. Very, very important. Very, very important, this. Right? Very quickly, you spoke about limited editions, right? Yes, yes. So in the early 2000s, Lamborghini had the V12 was before they released the Aventador. Car guys, what was the V12 before the Aventador? So we had the Diablo, we had the Countach, then the Diablo, Murcielago. Okay, they had a Lamborghini Murcielago, right? They launched the S, which was like the Murcielago, then the S was like the limited edition, then the SV. When they brought out the new one, the Aventador, they had the Aventador, then the S, then the SV, then the SVJ, Super Veloce Jota. S, Super, SV, Super Veloce, Super Fast, SVJ, Super Veloce Jota, Super Fast and Light.
Hello family. The VT Masterclass has now reached over 5 million unique entrepreneurs all across the world. If you'd like to book me for one, make sure that you hit the link below. Cheers.